You'll have to conceal it. Vittoria glanced down at her shorts. Then she looked at Langdon. Oh no you don't. Langdon thought. But Vittoria was too fast. She opened his jacket, and inserted the weapon into one of his breast pockets. It felt like a rock dropping into his coat, his only consolation being that diagramma was in the other pocket. We look harmless, Vittoria said. We're leaving. She took Langdon's arm and headed down the street. The driver called out, "Arm in arm is good. Remember, you're tourists. Newlyweds even. Perhaps if you held hands?" As they turned the corner, Langdon could have sworn he saw on Vittoria's face the hint of a smile. '59. The Swiss Guard staging room is located adjacent to the Corpo di Vigilanza barracks and is used primarily for planning the security surrounding papal appearances and public Vatican events. Today, however, it was being used for something else. The man addressing the assembled task force was the second in command of the Swiss Guard, Captain Elias Rocher. Rocher was a barrel-chested man with soft, putty-like features. He wore the traditional blue captain's uniform with his own personal flare, a red beret cocked sideways on his head. His voice was surprisingly crystalline for such a large man, and when he spoke, his tone had the clarity of a musical instrument. Despite the precision of his inflection, Rocher's eyes were cloudy like those of some nocturnal mammal. His men called him Orso Grizzly Bear. They sometimes joked that Rocher was the bear who walked in the viper's shadow. Commander Olivetti was the viper. Rocher was just as deadly as the viper, but at least you could see him coming. Rocher's men stood at sharp attention, nobody moving a muscle, although the information they had just received had increased their aggregate blood pressure by a few thousand points. Rookie Lieutenant Chartrand stood in the back of the room wishing he had been among the 99% of applicants who had not qualified to be here. At 20 years old, Chartrand was the youngest guard on the force. He had been in Vatican City only 3 months. Like every man there, Chartrand was Swiss Army trained and had endured 2 years of additional Ausbildung in Bern before qualifying for the grueling Vatican Prova held in a secret barracks outside of Rome. Nothing in his training, however, had prepared him for a crisis like this. At first Chartrand thought the briefing was some sort of bizarre training exercise. Futuristic weapons? Ancient cults? Kidnapped cardinals? Then Rocher had shown them the live video feed of the weapon in question. Apparently this was no exercise. We will be killing power in selected areas, Rocher was saying, to eradicate extraneous magnetic interference. We will move in teams of 4. We will wear infrared goggles for vision. Reconnaissance will be done with traditional bug sweepers, recalibrated for sub-3 ohm flux fields. Any questions? None. Chartrand's mind was on overload. What if we don't find it in time? He asked, immediately wishing he had not. The grizzly bear gazed out at him from beneath his red beret. Then he dismissed the group with a somber salute. Godspeed, men. "60. 2 blocks from the Pantheon, Langdon and Vittoria approached on foot past a line of taxis, their drivers sleeping in the front seats. Nap time was eternal in the eternal city, the ubiquitous public dozing, a perfected extension of the afternoon siestas born of ancient Spain. Langdon fought to focus his thoughts, but the situation was too bizarre to grasp rationally. "6 hours ago he had been sound asleep in Cambridge. Now he was in Europe, caught up in a surreal battle of ancient titans, packing a semi-automatic in his Harris tweed, and holding hands with a woman he had only just met. He looked at Vittoria. She was focused straight ahead. There was a strength in her grasp, that of an independent and determined woman. Her fingers wrapped around his with the comfort of innate acceptance. No hesitation. Langdon felt a growing attraction. Get real, he told himself. Vittoria seemed to sense his uneasiness. Relax, she said, without turning her head. We're supposed to look like newlyweds. I'm relaxed.